So as I mentioned, I'm doing grades 5 through 6, and this is the front cover. It just shares with you guys some of the subjects over here that we're going to be working on, and it's reading, math, spelling, critical thinking, and geography. One of the things I did notice as I went through here is a couple of the passages that were there for reading were about science topics, but there was no science in there really, which for my family is not a problem. A lot of the science that we prefer to learn is hands-on, things like building and nature study. But if you're somebody who's heavy into experiments and want to do those types of things over summer, want to have like science involved, there's not any of this in this book. So we're going to open it. And here is the table of contents, and you can see it's 10 weeks, and it has an answer key, which is really my favorite part of all of these books, because sometimes I'm just checking multiple students, and so I want something that's easy to go through and not have to actually think of all the answers, but just to have something to quickly reference to. So here is a skills list, and I'll zoom in here a little bit. And you can see each week up here, as far as like reading comprehension, you'll be working on nonfiction every week. But something like predictions, you'll only be working on it a few weeks. So this gives you an idea. And on the other page, I'll just zoom out a little bit, but you can always pause it and look. And so we have here basic how to use it, but in all honesty, if you kind of look through it, it's not that difficult to use. So we have read it, spell it, language lines, write it right, vocabulary, math time, geography, in your own words, mind jigglers, which I think are going to be some of the favorites in my house, and weekly record form. Okay. And here is going to be a list of all of the spelling words that are going to be in this 10 weeks. And so that might give you an idea if these words are going to be appropriate for your student or not. Some students are ahead, some students are behind. And over here, it just gives you a week 1 checklist. So every week is going to be kind of the same. So I'm going to go through week 1 with you and then just do a quick flip through of some of the other things. But I don't want to make this too lengthy. So here we have, over here first, we have the spelling words for this week. So this is a list for the whole book. This is for week 1. And it gives you all week. You're going to work on a memorable moment and a reading record. I love the fact that it has a record to keep all of my students' books that they read, because we keep track through the year to turn in with our portfolios. But over the summer, we don't necessarily keep track. So I like that they're able to keep track of the things they are reading over the summer. And then Monday, there's going to be 3 activities: read it, write it, math time. And then Tuesday, spell it, in your own words, language lines, and math time. Wednesday, read it and vocabulary. Thursday, language lines, in my own words, mind jigglers. And Friday, math time and geography. So if you are, you or your student are the type of people who like to have a checklist, that's a great place that you can go through and keep track of every day. It kind of reminds me of the front pages of our Master books. And over here is just a little fun thing. Get creative and turn this scribble into a face. And so when my daughter did look through this, my 11-year-old, she thought that was probably one of her favorite things. She thought that was really neat. So, and each week has some type of little creative thing that they can do here. So turning into this, we have the beginning of our week that's in every week. We will have a memorable moment. What sticks out in your mind about this week? And summer's just a fun time to do all kinds of things and activities. And so I thought that this would be very neat. And I like the idea that it has several lines that they could write a short paragraph or they could just make a list of all the things they did that were important to them. And as parents, as we're kind of going through this, it's neat to be able to kind of have some insight onto the things that are truly memorable to them. So down here, as I mentioned, their reading record, and then it asks you to describe the character that you read about in this in the book you read this week. Over here, we have hurricane hunters. So again, I mentioned that some of the passages are about science, are science related, while none of the activities themselves are. So reading and just answering the questions. It's pretty standard reading comprehension. The next activity, and you'll see down here in the bottom, it still gives you the day. So that's for Monday as well as this. And we have write it, where you're going to rewrite each sentence and correct the errors. So it's all working on things like grammar and punctuation. Down here is a short math lesson. What place does the numeral 3 hold in each number? The first one has been done for you in the tens place. Obviously, this is very simple in my opinion for a 5th to 6th grader. So you should, even for my 5th to 6th grader who is a little behind in math, I don't think there should be any struggling through most of the math sections I've seen on here. And here we have the spell it section. And so we're working on the long A sound, the different ways that you can make the long A sound and filling those in. Down here, in my own words, imagine that your pet could talk, write about what it might say. So it's kind of like just a short writing prompt where there's not too much space. They don't have to write something big and lengthy, although they could get a separate notebook if they enjoy to write. My student does not, so this will be just perfect. And it's just something silly and fun, not too in-depth. And so that is Tuesday's work, as well as this page. Language lines, and so we go over what a noun is. Again, a very simple concept we shouldn't have any trouble with. Write each noun in the correct category. And so we've got person, place, thing, and idea. We're just going to take the word bank, and move it. Down here is working on some double-digit multiplication, and that again is for Tuesday. As we change pages, we'll be on Wednesday, so we've got another reading comprehension. This section is going to be fiction, so we are alternating reading both nonfiction and fiction, and then just answering some simple questions. Vocabulary. My student loves vocabulary, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Up here, they're going over what an idiom is. And then down here, we're going to write the letter of each of the underlined idioms. So don't make a mountain out of a molehill, and you'll go over here and find the matching letter. My kiddo loves to do matching because it's easy. And I think that's kind of cool for idioms because they don't always know, but they can use, process of elimination for the one or two they may not know. So write a sentence using an idiom from activity A. So we can choose one of these idioms and write a sentence down here. And that is Wednesday. Over here, we're moving into Thursday. And so here we're having language lines, working on things like up here again, our verbs. And so we're going to underline the verb phrase, write the helping verb and the main verb in the correct column. So which one, identify the helping and the main verbs, and then which one is which by writing them on the lines here. Another simple prompt, write a description of your favorite ice cream flavor. So short, sweet, to the point. We're alternating on Monday and Wednesday we read, and on Tuesday and Thursday we just do a short writing excerpt. Here's another Thursday. At the ice cream store, write a sentence using the words ice cream, paid, hot fudge, and baseball. Just a simple sentence, but they have to use all of those words. Down here is a logic puzzle, which I do feel like will be a favorite in my house. My kiddos love logic. And down here, Jim owns an ice cream store. Use the clues to find out how many ice cream cones he sold last week. So they'll have to use these clues and figure it out. On Friday, there is no reading and there is no writing. So this, again, was Thursday. This is Friday's assignment. And we go up here. We're working on some math and some decimal work. And down here, we'll be filling in the letters and solving, the little message based on the math that they do. And on the back side is some simple geography. And so we'll just have a little map up here and some questions. So that'll be Friday. And we will start over again with week 2. And it's the same. You can see, I'll just flip through real quick a couple of these. It's the exact same setup. Every Obviously every passage is different. The math may be a little bit different, whatever grammar styles they're working on or punctuation. They're no longer working on idioms, but precise language. But in general, it's the same types of things. Well, this one's fun. Using it pictures. So this one's Jack in the Box, or here, water under the bridge. That'll be a lot of fun. I think, though, she might struggle with a little bit of that, but I'll have fun helping her with it. And so it's just the same thing. So we're going to flip closer to the back here for you. Whoops, sorry. Let's see if we can. And you can see back here, we just have the answer key, and it just goes through page by page. So if you have a student who might be tempted, even though it's just a little bit of fun summer work, to look ahead, you may want to go ahead and just tear this out. This is perforated. It is not hole punched in any way, though, so you will have to do that or stick it in maybe a folder. But they do have everything written out for you. Very easy to check. And back here, it does have a page for just a short summer journal, but it is not something they can journal continually. It is just a couple pages. So if you have a student who really does like to write, you might need to consider like a diary instead of this, but that is a neat little place they can kind of keep track of some things if they like. So that was everything. Back here, does it show? No, it does not show the grade levels, but if I will link this below, and if you guys look there. So that is everything, guys. I know that we have done Summer Bridge and just some different books, but we are really excited about this. This is probably one of the best books I've seen. I love how thin it is. I don't know if you have done things like Summer Bridge. They're a very thick book, and so my students got bored with them very quickly. I think this is something that is more attainable, and we still can do a lot of hands-on and fun summer activities. So if you guys are interested in this, and maybe going from 5th grade to 6th grade is not where your student is, you guys can check out the description link down below and go to their website to check it out. They have starting and going from pre-K to kindergarten all the way up through grade 7, going into 8th grade, as well as some other homeschool and YouTube moms out there who are doing reviews on other grade levels, so they can share their thoughts on those particular books. The link down below will be an affiliate link. I do like to leave a disclosure of that because for whatever reason it bothers some people, so you are welcome to just go straight to the website and check it out if that does. So I will see you guys all in my next video. Till then, bye.